Welcome to another episode of the Embracing Joy podcast. I'm excited to share a special guest with you all today and our topic, which is laughter and joy with Jenn Rosner. It's a pleasure to have you, Jen.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
So, let me tell you about Jen. Jen is a laughter based meditation teacher, and she is also a recovering overthinker who is devoted to helping others liberate their creativity and reclaim their joy. She's had many years of taking life and herself way too seriously. So now Jen is learning to move through life with laughter, lightness, compassion, and humor. And that journey became something that she calls her inner ha ha harmony.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a blend of intentional laughter, energy alignment, and mindfulness that helps people refocus, realign, and return to empowered choice, one giggle at a time.
Yes.
Right, yes. So, yeah, I would love to hear more about your story, Jen, and we will learn about your story. So, you describe yourself as a recovering overthinker.
Yes.
What was the shift that happened for you that made you decide to start using laughter, lightness, and humor as tools for healing?
Well, I've been on a journey for a long time. And I think when my nephews were born, being around them and just really getting in touch with my inner child through them, through playing with them and being silly with them and just, reading to them and their laughter and everything really cracked something open in me. And so my nephews, they're now, one of them is 9 and one of them just turned 7. So yeah, they're 9 and 7. So this was a few years ago. And so ever since, I was helping and hang out with them, it just kept growing and growing and growing, just that silliness and their way of looking at life and just being open and, in awe and just play without really caring.
Mhm.
And what had happened was is that, I'd spent years going to therapy and going to, I was inpatient a couple of times, did really a lot of intensive outpatient, a lot of regular therapy. And, it really helped me. But it was always like I was thinking like, okay, so if I just clear this one more block, if I just heal this one more thing, the scales will tip in my favor and life will be easy. And then I can just relax and I can move forward. But, I was always still trying to heal something inside of me. I still felt broken. I still felt myself filled with shame. I still felt overwhelmed. I still had a lot of anxiety. And there's nothing wrong with this. We don't need to fix ourselves, heal ourselves, do anything because, all the so-called sabotaging patterns and all the, things that we are ashamed of ourselves, that was all created for us by us, to survive when we're little. And when I started to really understand that, I started to have a little bit more grace for myself because it's okay, it's not me, it's a structural thing. Like, I created these part-time personalities, I created these sabotaging patterns, all these things that I learned, I can also unlearn. So I started down that journey as well. And then just the laughter part came in again because of, my nephews and laughing with them. And I've always loved, just being playing board games and just having a really good laugh where you like laugh to cry. It always felt really good to me. But I always thought you had to like do something to have fun. And it's like people would ask me, like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I don't really know what I do for fun because to me, honestly, fun was like meditating. Fun was like doing the inner work, going inward. And so it was almost like I was embarrassed to talk about what was fun for me. And then I discovered, I started to discover this laughter yoga where you didn't have to do anything. You can just choose to laugh because you want to choose to laugh. Not that anything's funny, not that you have to like do anything to be fun. And so I started doing that. And then I was realizing that, like, oh, okay, so I'm kind of all over the place here, but so I always felt like I had two parts to me. I had this creative side of me with like, art and music and dancing and play and all that. And then I had the life mode, and it's like those two modes are totally separate. It's like this fun mode that I love to be in and then regular life, which I hated to be in. And I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. If I can choose to laugh, maybe I can bring fun to the things that I don't necessarily like to do. and I can do that through this laughter. And so then it started to develop through that. And then I was like, okay, so let me try this. So they started adding in the laughter with the meditation, with the energy clearing, and it just became inner ha harmony.
Mhm. Wow. I love that it started with, seeing that silliness of children and how they're able to incorporate laughter and times of silliness and those moments throughout their day, and it's not just a designated time. Because I
Yes.
think a lot of us, we feel like it has to be in a designated time that you feel joy, but you could, feel joy and laughter throughout the day. Yeah. So with the inner haha harmony, with your blending of intentional laughter and mindfulness, how do you say laughter helps break people out of stress patterns and reconnect?
Well, first of all, the body doesn't know the difference between laughing at something that you find funny or laughing because you're choosing to laugh. Either way, your body still gets a dose of happy hormones. It increases all of those, wonderful hormones. And so, because it increases your hormones, it changes your state, right? And so, it's just really good for your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and social health. And it just feels really good. And so, when we choose to laugh, we get to say to the world, okay, if I know that this changes my state, it actually gives me physiological, things. And also when you laugh, it's like you use your diaphragm. So it's a little bit of exercise too, choosing to laugh.
Mhm.
And so if I know that I can change my state when I choose to laugh, I'm telling the world that no matter what's going on outside, I can still feel good on purpose. I can still feel joy on purpose. I don't, and so it's a very empowering thing.
Definitely, definitely, because you're right. That feeling of laughter helps decrease your stress hormone, and increase your happy endorphins. So, for high achieving professionals, they can take life very, very seriously. Like, what's one simple laughter based practice that you would suggest that they can carry today to reconnect with joy and creativity, even if it's a busy day? Like, what's
Yeah.
something that you can do?
Well, I mean, you can just do simple breathing exercises, right? You can breathe in for the count of 4. And let's just, you can do the box breathing, right? Because the box breathing that was created by, I think, a Navy SEAL, that's really good to center yourself and to reconnect and get you out of that stress. So you can breathe in for 4, and then you can hold for 4. And then on the exhale, instead of just exhaling, you can just go ha 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 to the count of 4,
Mm,
right? And then
mhm,
you hold for
mhm,
4 and you breathe in. But you can really do this if you even just want to take in one breath. You take in one breath and you can either go ha with intention, right? Just the ha, or
mhm,
you can go
mhm.
ha 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 ha,
Mm,
right? You're
mhm,
laughing. You're choosing to laugh. And
mhm.
so it's really simple practices, like that. And then if
I
you
love
even
how
some
you're
breathing exercise.
incorporating the laughter within the box breathing and the deep breathing methods, diaphragmatic breathing method.
Yeah.
Is that how you normally incorporate, like, the laughter meditation? Or is it
So
different?
in the class it's different, but I do offer different techniques. So I do have a couple of different breathing exercises where you can, follow along. I have a full body laughter meditation where it's a little bit longer, but you imagine like you're starting with your toes and you imagine your toes laughing, and you can either move them if you want to, or if you're out somewhere where you don't want to do it, you can just imagine that your toes are laughing, and then you imagine your legs are laughing, and you bring it all the way up in each part of your body. You imagine waking up and just bringing joy and laughter to them until your whole body is like in your cells, right? You go into your cells and the muscles and everything, and imagining that laughing. And then I also have laughter inspired music that I'm currently uploading to my YouTube channel, and then I'm trying to get on all the streaming channels. But I have ones that are like I call Zen laughter, which is if you want to like go into more meditative, chill space. And then I have a high vibes haha, which is more if you want to go into like a more, lift your energy and have a little bit more energizing. And it's most of it is just like music with ha-has. You know what I mean? And so you can like chant along with it or just dance with it or meditate with it or whatever. But for the actual class, it's a combination. So we do some laughing and play exercises. So it'll be anything from like, okay, you're going to laugh like different ages. So you'll start with like, laughing like a little baby and you work your way up. Or, we'll like throw balls or gratitude laughter or whatever. So it's a lot of play-based exercises. And then we go into some rhythm, which will always be on the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, but we go ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. And then I have a section in there on Happy News Radio where we share good news, what we're grateful for, what we love, what we want to create, what we have created. And I always say it's, big or small. It could be that you're just here and you just got up
Mhm.
and. And then I go into like the energy work where we choose to go into empowered choice, which is a place of being able to really choose how you want to feel, choose how you want to think, choose how you want to feel, choose how you want to respond to life, and ultimately choose to consciously create a life that you love. And so that's like the choice that we make. And we shift some energy. And then we go into the meditation. And the meditation is really about reconnecting ourselves to who we are, at our core, and then spreading that outward. And then we come back and we reground ourselves.
Okay. Wow. So you have a lot of offerings there.
Yes.
With that being said, we're on to our wrap-up questions, which are who is a model for joy for you in your life and what qualities do they have?
Well, my nephews. Well, pretty much kids and animals, but mostly my nephews. Just because, again, the qualities are just that joy is kind of like their state. They just want to explore, they want to see what happens, and they really don't take their lives too seriously yet. And then animals, just because animals are silly in general, they're cute, they make me happy.
Mhm. And then if you were cooking a cake of joy, what would the top 3 ingredients be?
The top three ingredients will be choice, that I'm choosing joy, with that intention. And then really the laughter, like the intentional laughter, and play.
Mhm. Mhm. I like those ingredients.
Yeah,
So, this was a great conversation. Thank you so much for joining me, Jen.
thing me.
It's been a pleasure. And everyone listening, if you want to learn more about Jen, you can find her. Where can they find you?
So I have a YouTube channel, Inner Haha Harmony. And again, I have my music on there, and I'm going to be adding more meditations and stuff. I have a Facebook group also called Inner Haha Harmony. And so it's a dash HARMONY. So you can find me on there. You can find me on regular Facebook, on Instagram under Jenn Rosner.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Jen. Please make sure that you like this episode, give us a comment, subscribe so that you'll be first notified of future episodes, and have a joyful rest of your day. Take care. Bye.
Hi.
Till next time.